There is a wide misconception amongst applicants that if you have enormous amounts of money, then it is safe to say or assume that you will be approved of a study permit. But see guys, there are more to this story than just money. And in this video, we will talk about the various reasons why you could be refused of a study permit even with enormous amounts of dollars. Hello everyone, this is Coach Rice, and in this channel, we help you move to Canada successfully. Don't get me wrong though, a good amount of proof of funds, ideally 1 year covered of your tuition and 1 year covered of your cost of living, is a good first step. Proof of funds covers a broad spectrum of your application, but then it doesn't start and it doesn't end there. There are these factors that you should certainly consider. The first one is that if your current or your previous source of income does not necessarily align with your amount or with the amount of money that you have in your bank account, then this can raise a question unless you are absolutely able to prove all the movement of money in your bank account. And that is the second one. If your bank certificate or your bank statement, shows irregular movement of money in your bank account, then this can also raise a red flag in your application. Sometimes providing the source of income by the business owners can be a tricky situation because it can appear as if the documents are too manipulated. For example, if you are a business owner or you are self-employed and you run your own business, therefore your certificate or your certificate of employment will have to be issued by you, and then it will have to be signed by yourself as well. This raises the question of manipulation of documents, and therefore you have to be absolutely meticulous when it comes to providing your source of income, proof of your source of income if you are a business owner. This becomes a little bit more manageable if you are privately employed, given that you certainly have enough income to sustain your living and your education here, because then there will be a company, an actual company that is ran and managed by different people, and you have to provide your certificate of employment and your proof of salary to your application. These documents will be provided by your company. Therefore, this becomes a little bit more manageable in terms of being employed privately. The second reason that you can be refused of a study permit even with enormous amounts of money is if you are not able to prove that you will leave Canada when your program finishes. Second factor essentially revolves around your study plan or the letter of intent of your spouse or your partner. Now, in your study plan, if you say and prove that you will leave Canada the moment you finish your program, you have to state specifically what will you do when you come back to your country of origin. Sometimes you can say that you will put up a business. Sometimes you will say that you will find a higher paying job and a higher position job in the country where you are originally from. Now, if you will say that you will put up a business, you cannot just state that you will put up a business. You have to prove indeed that you will put up a business. You can include a simple or a basic business plan in your study plan. And if you choose to say that you will go back and find a job in your home country, then one thing that you have to keep in mind is that the job should certainly be at least 2 notches higher than the job position you have right now, and the salary should be at least 3 times the current salary that you have right now. You have to remember, guys, you will spend $15,000 on a minimum, or even $12,000 to $15,000 on minimum on your tuition plus all other expenses. And the only way to make it feasible on your end and believable on the understanding of any other person or the visa officer is that the salary that you will go back to is at least 3 times your current salary. And the third reason that you can be refused of your permit even with enormous amounts of money is if you do not have enough, sufficient, and established home ties. Home ties are your parents, your nieces, your nephews, your siblings, your children, if they will not accompany you in Canada. Home ties can be your pets, it can be investments, it can be businesses that you will go back to the moment you finish your program. The question that you have to answer here is, what do you have to lose if you do not go back to your home country? And if you are able to prove and document that you do have a lot to lose if you do not go back to your home country, and then that becomes absolutely believable. The fourth reason that you can be refused of your permit, even with enormous amounts of money, is if the choice of program is wrong. For example, if you are a bachelor's degree holder with lengthy work experience and you decided to take a certificate program, then the question is, how do you justify that in your study plan? Because certificates are normally taken by high school graduates. And the same thing, if you are a master's degree holder and you decided to take a diploma, for example, there is a huge onus or responsibility for you to really prove your point of taking such program. And if you make your first step in such a manner that it becomes harder for you to prove your choice of program, then it's a risky path for you to take. That's why you have to be absolutely sure that your program of choice is indeed a progression in your either education or your profession.